Everybody, I want to thank you all for joining our meeting today, or joining us on Facebook Live or from our website, from our YouTube account. Thank you very much for making all of these classes a major success. There are some days where some people can't hop on. It's getting close to the holidays. So today's one where it's just going to be the two of us, and we're going to be covering today some basics on developing a website. So before we start today, a couple things I want to cover with you. First, please make sure you take a moment and share this video with somebody. Even if you think it may not help, it may be something that we can offer for somebody in the future. Second, we're going to be making a couple assumptions here. One, you've already registered your website. Two, you've already established hosting. Generally, when you start a website, you need three components. You need hosting, which is where all of your website files are stored. This is generally done at a facility. We don't host them here. We actually lease servers from somebody who is dedicated to hosting a website. You need something like GoDaddy in order to register a .com, and that's something that we're able to offer for people too. So the third component that makes a website viable and working is the actual development of the website itself. Now, website development sounds like a very complex, complicated thing. It really is not. If you've ever heard of anybody getting a website, you've probably heard of something like Wix or WordPress or Joomla or Zoops, which is spelled Xoops. These are all content management platforms. We only have worked with WordPress for quite some time. When I say quite some time, we've only worked with it. We've worked with it for about 18 years. It's gone through several different iterations, and here's the advantage. If you use WordPress, the software is updated behind the scenes, so you don't have to go in and worry about, is all the code in the website updated? The answer is yes, it's already updated, so you don't have to worry about updating code. But there are things like themes and plugins, which we're going to cover a little bit of today, but I don't want to overwhelm you with everything. So let's get started. I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to start from scratch, logging into our cPanel, installing WordPress, and getting started. So give me just a second to share our screen, and we can get started. All right, so we're on our computer. We're going to go ahead and open our web browser. In this case, we're using Microsoft Edge. We'll make it full screen, and we're going to make a website that is 4 basic pages: a home, services, a blog or a news section, and a contact us page. We're going to keep it very simple. We're going to use very minimal themes. We're going to use very minimal plugins. This is just how to start, how to get set up, and how to go live. So we're going to go to abccomputer.net. You'll see here, this is what a blank website would look like. There's absolutely no files, nothing has been installed. We're going to go ahead and go to our cPanel. This is where all of the controls behind the scenes take place, and this is something we can cover in a different lesson sometime later down the road. We're going to put in our password, or what I believe our password is, and I happen to be right. So this is our cPanel. This is kind of the administrative panel for the website. Not to be scary or anything, but if you don't know what is going on here, it's always best to pick up the phone and call somebody. A lot of damage can be done to websites by clicking on a series of wrong things. One click isn't going to hurt you on any of this, but a series, 2 or 3 clicks on here could really damage or destroy a website. We're going to go to an automated installer. If you go under the software section here, WordPress Manager by Softalicious, we're going to click on Install. We're going to name, it's going to ask us where we want to set up. We don't want it in a directory. We want it right out on abccomputer.net. So you remember, if we went to abccomputer.net, this is our blank page. So the version, you're always going to want to stay with the latest version. This is so your site doesn't get hacked. It's not vulnerable to anything. We'll call the website ABC Computer. Excellence in technology will be our slogan. Our username is going to be admin, password will be pass, and then our administrative email will be info@abccomputer.net. This is all important information, and we're not going to get into the meat and potatoes as to why, but this is all information you should write down under the admin account, and this email address should be something valid that you're able to check. So if you do forget your username or your password, you have an email address to recover all of that from. And as I tell everybody, I urge you strongly to get away from Hotmail. I urge you strongly to get away from AT&T and Yahoo, because those have had recovery issues with a lot of our clients lately. So please stay away from those, just for your protection, the protection of your website, and just your whole digital entity. Your plugins, we're going to skip these plugins. Obviously, I am not instructing anybody to ever avoid a backup, but for the sake of this, we're just going to get in and do the 4 basic pages. We'll cover backing up and other website functions a little later on. There's some advanced options. Everything runs on databases with websites. It's okay to leave all of this to be set in its defaults. So we're not going to modify these. The database, but we are going to auto upgrade the plugins. We're going to auto upgrade the theme. This way you don't have to worry about it later. We're going to update automatically everything. Automated backups. What the heck? We're here. Let's just do it to be on the safe side. Let's do it once a month. We'll back it up 4 times. That way we have 4 months. Every month there'll be a backup for 4 months, and then the 4th one will be deleted, and so on and so forth. The backup default location is fine. We'll go ahead and select one of our basic themes. We're not going to get into anything crazy here. We're just going to use one of the default themes. We'll select that theme. Try your best image. We'll say yes because we want to do it. And then when we're finished, do we want email confirmation? Sure. Always do this. info@abccomputer.net. This will send you an email with the confirmation that everything's been installed. Generally, we don't get many error messages. This takes about 45 seconds to go ahead and install. You'll see there's other functions you have over here. Under Soft Delicious, you'll notice there is a slew of other things you can do with your website. We're going to cover some of these in other lessons. There's some very neat applications that you can install. And then you'll see here our WordPress installation has completed. So if I go back to our tab here, and I refresh our abccomputer.net, you'll see we now have our basic website theme set up. So really all you need to do is go in at this point and make some changes. And to do that, you have to go to your admin portal. So again, this is something very vital that you write down. Your abccomputer.net or your website whatever the extension is, .com, .us, .org, and then / the WP-admin. That's important because that's where all of your website files live, and you need to be able to get into there. So we're here, and now we have the ability of, we can dismiss our welcome to WordPress. This is kind of the back end of things. You always are going to see some kind of an update. There's always going to be a problem that you need to address. Ignore those unless they're really flashing at you and your website's not working, in which case, if you can't fix it, again, we're always here to help. I'm going to go to our pages, and I'm going to click on Home. Since we already have the home page established, all I need to do is click on Edit, and let's see what we come into here. So we've got a welcome block. That's fine. So we're going to hit Next. This will give you information on each page. This block is kind of a welcome how-to on how to use this page. I won't go through that. I'll let you go through that on your own. So we're going to get started here. And then, for instance, on the home page, you'll see that it says Environmental Management Agency. So if I go down, so we're going to say, instead of Environment Management Agency, we'll keep as HTML. I'm sorry, I lost my spot. Bear with me for a second. There we go. So from here, all I need to do is go in and edit the preview. Okay. So if I want to go in and I want to change the environmental management agency to basic computer service, because that's our website's abccomputerservice.net, and I hit update. I go back out here and refresh. Basic computer service right there underneath these green boxes is how we do it. So that's the very basic way of changing content. Then you can go over here and you can modify some of the other information. If I want to go in and delete some sections, I can also do that. So we'll delete all the other sections out there because all we're interested in, and I'll update so you can see where we're at. So now if I refresh, some of our information here has been changed. So I'm going to go back in and we're just going to remove everything except for our little spot here. Now this theme is a little bit more complicated, and I apologize for starting there, but I wanted to, I kind of wanted to start somewhere, and I felt that this would be the best place to start. So let's get rid of some of these blocks. Even if we got to recreate something, it's not a big deal. So if I want to highlight this block of information and I click on the three dots, it gives me the opportunity to do quite a bit of things, including moving, locking, or whatever. I'm just going to delete them, and then we'll start over. So if I delete everything and I update, let's go out here and take a peek. You'll see we've got a header, our menu, our little slider. That's what the whenever you have an image that flashes or changes or moves, it's called a slider. And then we have our content here, which just says edit. Well, we've removed all that content. So let's say that we've made a mistake. I've made a terrible error and I deleted a bunch of things. If you click on this right pane here where it says page, and there were 4 revisions, if I click here and I slide my rewind button all the way back to the beginning, and I say to the website, restore the autosave, you'll see all of my blocks have come back. And then if I go back out here, I can refresh. So this is built into everybody's version of WordPress. So if you make an error, excuse me, if you make an error, a critical error, you always have the ability of going back in WordPress. So I wanted to change, let's get rid of a couple things. So we're going to leave the environmental agency. I'm going to delete this block. I only wanted to keep the one block anyway, so we're just going to remove everything else since I accidentally deleted. I want to get rid of that one and this one. So if I click one time, you see the blue highlight, and I can delete. Second section, 3 dots, delete. And if I hit update, now I should just have that one section, and I do. So there's my slider, and then we're editing this section right here. So you'll see right here, if I keep as HTML, those 3 paragraphs. So if I switch this to say section 1, section 2, and section 3, and I update this and I refresh, it's going to say section 1, section 2, section 3. There's all of our changes. And let's say for a second you aren't happy with the theme, as I'm actually not happy with the way this theme is working. And you go to appearance in the WordPress, you always want to click, you want to go out to the site, or if you want to go from the site back in to edit, you click on the ABC computer, click appearance, and then we're just going to change our theme. Right now, I think we're on this popular FX. That's our active theme. Let's go to something a little bit more basic. The 2024, we're going to say activate. And now if I go out to the web There's our section 1, section 2, section 3. So now we have a couple pages here that we can kind of run with. So if I want to go in and I want to go to our pages and I want to edit our home page again, there's our section 1, section 2, section 3. But let's get out of this HTML mindset. A lot of people don't know how to write that, and there's no reason for anybody to need to know how to do that. If I type in content here, and then I say A, B, C, D, E, F, and I hit update, the home page should very similarly reflect what we just typed in here. So if I come up and I refresh, content A, B, C, D right here. Let's say I want to add a picture. Let's go find a picture on Google. Let's find a free to use graphic or website. And we're just going to pick the first thing we see, assuming it's user-friendly. We're just going to file and save the image as. We'll save it right to our desktop. It's a JPEG image, so that's good. And I want to add that image. I can go right here to add block. I can click on image, or I can browse all. There's a lot of interesting things you can add, tables and lists and videos from YouTube. So if I say image and I upload that image from our desktop, there's what we downloaded. That's the thumbnail. And now if I update our page, you'll see, if I refresh the home page, the image we added is now present. If I go back in, click on the three dots, and I delete it. And let's delete the A, B, C, D, E, F, because I don't like that. And I just say content here, and I click on update. You'll see that only the content here exists. So now we have a couple other things. We have the logo, if you will. That's considered the logo at the upper left. We have our menu, and then we have a footer menu. So let's say for a second we only want home, services, a blog, or a news section, and a contact page. We have too much going on. We don't need the R mission. That's not what we're trying to do. So we're in the front end, so we're going to click on the ABC computer, or whatever your website name is. We're going to go over to appearance, and then we're going to customize. So now you kind of have the ability of editing your website live based on its look. So what we're going to do is we're going to, this is a little different than what I'm used to actually, but that's all right. So the navigation, I want to edit. I don't like the about. Let's delete all of these and let's add new. And then let's say home. And we want to find our page link. Page list. If I edit, I don't want to do that. It's funny, every time you log in, they always change things just slightly, which isn't bad. But I want to edit. I want to edit this, and I want home. It's funny that I'm trying to show you how to do this, and now it looks like I'm a new guy, huh? So I'm going to go back. If you're unsure, don't save, go back. Let's go under, we should have some plugins. Let's make sure we don't have any crazy plugins. We do. We've got this page layer, which I don't know anything about. Let's deactivate that. Let's also deactivate the popular FX template, because that may be giving us some problems too. So now if I go to appearance, then click on our customize, we're still kind of looking a little bit different than normal here. We should have a different view of things going on, but we can make do. So let's go back in here, theme detail. Let's see if we can customize. We'll auto update always, customize. So our navigation, we're going to change. We'll detach it and see what happens. We're going to delete that. We're going to delete that. I want to move that over. We're going to change about to services, blog to news, and contact is going to stay the same. So we can delete that add label. We can delete this add label. And now we can update. So we've got our home, services, news, or our blog, and our contact page. So if I save that, and I go back out to our web page to check on our progress, you'll see we now have home, services, news, contact. So if I go to services page, I go to news, I go to contact, our menu stays intact. This is exactly what we want. All right, so now if I go back here, we're going to do quick edits because we're going to call about services. We're going to change it slug, which is kind of a shorthand for its short name. It's kind of a back end thing, but it's always good to keep it all together. So blog will be news. So we've changed the slug to news, all lowercase. Contact will remain the same. Home will remain the same. And then we will delete these 3 pages. Move them to trash. And now we've got home, news, services, and contact. So if I come out here, I refresh again. Home is still intact. Services. Page isn't found. Well, I've messed up. So let's figure out what I did wrong. If I go to appearance and I customize and I hit our navigation, services, should take us we'll remove the services. Actually, let's just remove everything. So this is just the menu items we're removing. And then we'll add home, services. There's our services page, which automatically came up. We're going to do news, which that's our page. The lowercase news is our slug. And then we're going to do contact. And there's our contact title, and then our contact slug. And now if I save that, we're going to save again, head on out to the public area. We're going to head all the way out to the public area. So it's going to be like we're looking at the website like a normal user. There's our home. Here's our services. Here's our news. Here's our contact. So we fixed the broken website, which is good to know how to do if you ever run into an issue. Let's go back into the editor. We want to get rid of that footer section there. So again, that'll be done under appearance. And then we're going to customize. And we want to simplify this. So we don't want it to be so complex. There's no reason, no need to do that. So let's get rid of all of this stuff down here. Let's go back. So we've handled our navigation, our styles. So we can change our color scheme, go with a darker site, or we can go with quite a number of other things. We'll leave it as the default. Pages, it's going to load the pages. We've already got those. We have our templates, which we're not going to get into the templates right now. We've already kind of done that. And then we're going to go back on the design. All right, so let's edit more pages. We can modify those footers later. So on the home page, let's edit. And let's see if we have the ability of, let's add our picture back in. So we're going to go to our image. We're going to upload. And if you've already got images in your media library that you've already used, you don't have to upload them multiple times. It's already going to be there. So if we put our image from earlier back in, here's all of our other images that were on our default template. So if I use our solar panels, for example, I can pop that in there, update, refresh. It's on our homepage. There we go. And there's all of that. So now let's go to our services. We've already got some content here, but let's say we want to edit. So we're out here in the live part of this. So let's click on the edit bar. This is only accessible if you're logged into the site like we are. So if I edit our page, we'll just leave it at what we do, and we'll get rid of the remainder of these sections. So we have services. What we do, we're going to leave. We're going to get rid of our vision mission. And we're going to get rid of our team section. And then if you want to go ahead in here and edit your content, you can. But we're going to leave that alone. We'll click on the W to come back out. And then ABC Computer. Check our services. We should only have one section, and we do. News. Now, this will be a little bit different, because on this page, I want to focus not on content, but on the ability of going in, hitting add a post, which is new post. Posts and pages are slightly different. If you have a blog or a news article and you want particular things to show up there, this is how you're going to do it. So what we need to do first is we need to, under our posts, check our categories. So let's say for a second, we see that under the ecosystem, there's a count of 3 items. So let's view these items. So these items are posts that are already created. So we want to make this. I copied this. We want to make that our news page. So the way we do that in the menu, so if I come into our menu again, under navigation and under news. So we're going to edit our news. And that's our link. And our link, we're going to click the edit pencil. We're going to paste in what we put there. So I'm going to save that. Then I'm going to save our changes again. And I'm going to come back out. And now if I go to the home page, there's our home page. But if I go to news, it takes us into, well, I made a mistake, because you'll see that I put ABC Computer News, all this other mumbo jumbo. So we have to edit this. We have to edit that because it's not correct. So if I go back into appearance and I customize, under the navigation page, we're just going to remove the news. And now let's add the news. But we're going to do a let me see where my eco. That isn't what I wanted. I screwed that up. So we're going to delete that. We're going to do news. And then we're going to edit. We're going to paste that in. But we're only going to put everything after this in. That way it only opens on the website the ecosystem. So I keep opening the wrong tab, sorry. I don't want new, I want news. So now I want to move this over. And then I want to save it. And that way it'll get rid of the word draft. Or it should get rid of the word draft. If I go home. Oh, so we're going to save, we've already saved that. Let's go check out in website land. We're going to do a force refresh, which is Control Shift and R on the keyboard. And you can see we're still missing our news here. Again, the menu option under Customize has changed. So this view for me is slightly different, and the way it functions is just a little bit different too, but it's all right. We can muddle through this. It's funny, every time I try to click on it, it doesn't want to do what we want it to do. See if our save change shows. It doesn't, but we can unlink it. We can say news. We can change the link. We can edit it. We're just going to put that in there. Whenever you're working on a computer or a website, there's always multiple ways to skin a cat. So just because one set of instructions doesn't work, doesn't mean give up, doesn't mean you can't do it, just means come at it from a different approach, just like we did here. So now if I click on news, you'll see that my error is gone and our news section is here. So for instance, if I wanted to create a new post or a news article on my website, if I hover over new and I click on post, and it looks just like editing a page, we're going to say test post. And then we're going to also go to our category and we're going to put it under eco. And then I'm going to publish that. Now, if I go back out to the page, up to news, you'll see the test post shows up here. If I click on this, it takes us into the news article itself, which we didn't put any content in, which is fine. People have the ability of leaving a comment if you desire to have that enabled. If you don't, you're going to edit the post. You're going to go to the options here on the right-hand side, and then we can go down here and we can make some changes. Let's see, we should have the ability of just turning the discussion off. So you uncheck everything under discussion, you update, go back out to the live page, and then you'll see under news, click on our test post, we have no ability to discuss. In short, I've taken you through a pretty basic drive through putting together a basic website from taking a totally blank website hosting plan into putting a website together with virtually no images and just text, which is something that people should know how to do, especially in 23. You never know, especially moving forward, when you might need to make a website and what purpose it might serve. Now, we did 4 pages here. Obviously, websites are not limited to pages. You can have as many pages and posts as you want. If you get into large content websites like a newspaper, you're going to need to get some kind of a beefier hosting package that'll handle quite a bit of hosting capability if you're running out of hosting space. Generally, you can get a couple hundred pages on this, but if you ever need more, just pick up the phone and call your hosting provider and they'll give you more. If there's ever anything we can do here at Weldon PC, we're open noon to 8 Monday through Friday. Phone number's on the wall behind me, 216-475-0661. That's our local number. You can also call 888-7-WELDON. Closed on the weekends, noon to 8 Monday through Friday. I want to thank everybody for supporting small businesses like ours. We're always here to help. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week, Tuesdays at 5 p.m.